Good morning. Class 7th, Subject English, PC Ren Grammar, Chapter 15, Punctuation. This lesson, Punctuation, has been taken from your PC Ren Grammar textbook. Okay, it's a very interesting lesson. You will understand where to put the exclamation mark, where to put the question mark, inverted commas, commas. Okay, so this chapter, Punctuation, gives you a brief detail about how to use the punctuation marks. So without wasting any time, we'll proceed with our first slide. The first slide has contents, the contents that we are going to cover in this video lecture. So the first will be introduction, that what do we actually mean by punctuation mark, okay, and why are they used in English, right? Next is common punctuation marks. The common punctuation marks you must be knowing: full stop, comma, semicolon, colon, question mark, exclamation mark, quotation marks, capital letters. So these are all common punctuation marks. We will be understanding the use of them individually. Okay, we are going to understand full stop, why we are using full stop and when do we use a full stop. Same with comma, then semicolon, colon, question mark, exclamation mark, quotation marks, capital letters, and then there's a practice exercise that you have to do on your own and that we'll be discussing in the online class. Then of course followed by homework. Clear? Shall we quickly proceed to the introduction slide? Okay. Introduction. Okay. Let us understand this very nicely. What is actually punctuation mark and why is punctuation mark used in English? Okay. Punctuation is a set of marks used in writing to clarify the meaning of a sentence or sentences. Okay, there can be more than one sentence, but what is punctuation? Punctuation is a set of marks used in writing to clarify the meaning of a sentence or sentences. Have you ever imagined if there is no pause, no full stop, like, can you understand even a single sentence? Can you have a conversation with someone if you will not pause? You'll keep on speaking. Will the person next to you understand what you're trying to speak? I don't think so that they will understand. So you have to have that clarity of speaking, and that clarity comes with full stop, comma, right, quotation marks, colons, semicolons. So punctuation marks are very useful and they should be used in writing. Moving next. The most common punctuation marks in English are capital letters, full stops, question marks, commas, colons and semicolons, exclamation marks and quotation marks. Okay, so the most common punctuation marks in English are capital letters, full stop. You know, whenever there's a proper noun, always a sentence starts with a capital letter. Okay, name of a person, place, animal, thing comes in capital letter only. At the end of the sentence we put a full stop, question mark, what, where, do you. Whenever the statement is asking you some question, you have to put a question mark, comma, colons and semicolons whenever there's a statement. Okay, the teacher told us, the teacher told, so you have to use the colons, that the teacher said, right? Then exclamation mark and quotation marks. Moving next. In speaking, we use pauses and the pitch of the voice to make what we say clear. Okay, so in speaking, what are the two important things that we use? We use pauses and the pitch of the voice to make what we say clear. Punctuation plays a similar role in writing, making it easier to understand. Whenever we are speaking to someone, we take pauses, isn't it? And the pitch of the voice means the volume of our voice, the pitch that is bit low, right? And here when we are talking about punctuation marks, similarly punctuation plays a similar role in writing. Okay, whenever there's full stop, comma, it's better and it makes easy for us to understand and read. Right? I will introduce you to the first punctuation mark that we are going to study, and we'll start with full stop. Okay, punctuation marks. The most common punctuation marks in English are full stop. Do you know the symbol of full stop? Comma, semicolon, colon. The colon is made with two dots. Question mark, exclamation mark, and quotation marks or inverted commas. If we say that inverted commas, open, close. So if you say quotation mark and inverted commas, it's one and the same thing. Clear? So these are the most common punctuation marks in English. Full stop, comma, semicolon, colon, question mark, exclamation mark, quotation mark or inverted commas. Right? Full stop. This is the symbol of full stop. A punctuation mark used at the end of a sentence or an abbreviation. A full stop indicates the greatest pause. We use a full stop at the end of assertive and imperative sentences. I read in class 7. Pay attention to your studies. Okay. So I think with these two examples you have understood, and you people very well know what are assertive sentences and what are imperative sentences. We have already covered them in the topic sentences. So we use a full stop at the end of assertive sentence and imperative sentence. Moving next, we use a full stop for abbreviation, as in the above definition I told you, at the end of a sentence or an abbreviation. Abbreviation, a short form, right? PM, UK. If an abbreviation is formed with the first letter and the final letter of the full word, the full stop is omitted. Remember that whenever we are using the abbreviation with the first letter and with the last letter, then we will not use a full stop. That has been omitted from there. Omitted means deleted from there. So doctor, we are using the D first word and the last word R. So this is doctor, right? Then Mr, M-I-S-T-E-R, M is the first word, R is the last word. So Mr. We use a full stop in website and email addresses. www.yahoo.com. So we use a full stop in website and email addresses. So here are the three places where we use a full stop. We use a full stop at the end of the assertive sentence. Assertive sentences are simple sentences. Imperative sentences are request, order. Okay. So we use them at the end of the imperative sentence. Pay attention to your studies. We use a full stop for abbreviation, and we use a full stop in website and email addresses. There is one, you can say, exception to full stop, that whenever we are using an abbreviation with the first letter and the final letter of the full word, then we don't use full stop there. Is that clear to everyone? Okay. Moving to the next slide. Comma. Okay. A comma indicates the shortest pause. Okay. Full stop indicated the longest pause, and a comma indicates the shortest pause. It is used in the following case: to separate item in a series or a list. If you are going to the market, imagine I want rice, I want dal, pulses. Okay, so you'll put a comma, dal, comma, pulses, comma, medicines, comma, stationery items. So to separate items in a series or list, a comma is used. I have a pen, comma, a pencil and a rubber. Next, to mark off a noun in direct address. Manish, here is your book. Whenever you are calling a noun, a proper noun with direct address, Rahul, go to the market. So after Rahul, a comma will come. Here Manish, here is your book. So Manish, after Manish there is a comma. Before and after a phrase in opposition. Mr. Shukla, my teacher is retiring next month. To separate items in dates and places. August 10, 2019. To separate items in dates and places. After the salutation and the complimentary close in a letter, dear grandmother, we put a comma. To separate a reported speech from the rest of the sentence, he said, comma, inverted comma open, will you help me, question mark, inverted comma close. To separate a question tag from a statement, you are intelligent, aren't you, question mark. So you have to put a comma after you are intelligent whenever we are separating a question tag from a statement. To separate certain words or phrases like however, comma, finally, comma, in fact, comma, of course, comma, etc. Example, my father, comma, however, was reluctant to go. Last, to set off clauses where a pause is needed in reading. This is usually the case if an adverb clause comes first in a sentence. If it rains, comma, we will not play cricket. So these are the places where a comma is used. Moving next. Semicolon. A semicolon represents a greater pause than that indicated by a comma. So comma is a short pause, then full stop is a longest pause, and semicolon is a greater pause, a bit more than a comma, a greater pause than that indicated by a comma. Let's read about it. A semicolon is used to join two independent clauses not connected by a conjunction like and. Okay, I'm going to read this again. Please understand. A semicolon is used to join two independent clauses not connected by a conjunction like and. It should not be connected like a conjunction add, with a conjunction and actually. Okay. Example, we can go to the museum to do some research, then a semicolon. Mondays are pretty quiet there. So example is, we can go to the museum to do some research, then a semicolon. Mondays are pretty quiet there. Then next, a semicolon is used when a conjunctive adverb or transitional phrase like links two independent clauses. Some common conjunctive adverbs include moreover, nevertheless, however, otherwise, therefore, then, finally, likewise, and consequently. So some common conjunctive adverb include moreover, nevertheless, however, otherwise, therefore, then, finally, likewise, and consequently. Examples, the students had been advised against walking alone at night. However, Kathy thought walking was not dangerous if it was early in the evening. Full stop. I am not at all that fond of the colors of tiger lilies. Moreover, they don't smell very good. A semicolon is used to separate clauses, particularly if the clauses have internal commas. For the flight, comma, group A checks in with B, C and D check in with E, and F checks in with G. So here are the places where a semicolon is used. Moving to the next slide. Colon, the two dots. A colon represents a greater pause than that indicated by a semicolon. A colon is used to set off dialogue for a play or other script. So where are colons used basically? They are used to set off dialogue for a play or other script. Principal, Kamla, why were you late this morning? Kamla, the power went off, so I slept in. Second, a colon is used to separate a title from a subtitle. Roots, the saga of an American family. A colon is used to introduce contrasting statements. It was useless to try pleasing him. He criticized everything. Whenever there is a contrasting statements, then the colon is used. Moving next. Question mark. And I think it's very easy to guess where you have to put a question mark. A question mark is used at the end of an interrogative sentence. You know what an interrogative sentence? The sentence which asks a question. Have you talked to Prem? Question mark. What are you doing? Question mark. A question mark is used after a direct question which is inserted into a statement. If the question comes at the end, separate it with a comma. For example, the question was she really doing the best she could? You have to put a question mark. If the inserted question comes in the beginning, put the question mark in the middle. Was she really doing the best she could? Was the question. Understood? Third one, when writing a series of questions, use a question mark for each item, even if items are not complete sentences. When writing a series of questions, when you're writing a lot of questions together, use a question mark for each item. Even if items are not complete sentences, you have to put a question mark wherever you're asking a question, wherever there's an interrogative sentence. Example, the board members had to decide on a new course of action for the company. Expand, sell out, consider new financial reforms, question mark. So can you see there are series of questions and after each questions we have put a question mark. Expand, question mark, sell out, question mark, consider new financial reforms, question mark. Moving next. Exclamation mark, easiest to guess, right? An exclamation mark is used at end of a sentence to express an exclamation, an excitement, sadness. What a beautiful pen you have! Exclamation mark. Alas, we have lost the match. So exclamation mark basically tells the excitement, tells the emotion, with what emotion you have spoken the sentence. Okay, so an exclamation mark is used at end of a sentence to express an exclamation. Moving next. Yes, quotation marks or inverted commas, it's one and the same thing. Either I say quotation marks or I say inverted commas. You should not get confused. Let's read about quotation marks. Quotation marks or inverted commas are used to set off a direct quotation. Chandan said, I will win the match. So I will win the match is in single inverted commas, single quotation marks, open and close. The principal said, don't make a noise. Clear? Second, Quotation marks are used to set off titles of poems, articles, book chapters, or essays that are part of a longer work. The next chapter of the book was The Monster Returns from the Dead. In lesson 2, you read the poem The Road Less Traveled. So quotation marks are used to set off titles. Okay, you're speaking a statement and you have to tell the title. The title will come in inverted commas, open and close. Quotation marks open and close. Third, quotation marks are often used with technical terms. Terms used in an unusual way or other expressions that vary from standard usage. In poetry, the term alliteration refers to the repetition of beginning letters of word. So can you see quotation marks are often used with technical terms to distinguish them, or other expressions that vary from standard usage. Means whenever there's an important term that we want to highlight, a technical term, then we will put a quotation mark. Example is there in poetry. The term alliteration refers to the repetition of beginning letters of words. Clear? Moving next. Capital letters. We capitalize the first word of a sentence and the personal pronoun I. What should I do? Wherever you find this personal pronoun I, you have to write it in capital letter. I is never in small letters. We capitalize the first word in a direct quotation. He said, I will help you. So I has to be capital, and even if there would have been another word like we, then also we capitalize the first word in a direct quotation. We capitalize the names of people, Sachin Tendulkar, Rahul Dravid, even the name as well as the surname. We capitalize the names of countries, races, languages and nationalities, India, Tamil, French. We capitalize the names of religions, Islam. We capitalize the names of months, days of the week, but not seasons. Okay, so seasons is an exception like winter, rainy, summer, autumn. So we don't capitalize seasons. We capitalize only the names of months, days of the week. For example, March. We capitalize the names of organizations, clubs, historical events and periods of time. Rotary Club, example. We capitalize titles of movies, books, magazines, plays, newspapers and poems. Oliver Twist. That's the title of the book also and movie also. Moving next. Yes, so here is a practice exercise for you all. Punctuate the following sentences. You have to put the punctuation marks whichever punctuation mark you find relevant. He is not really nice looking and yet he has enormous charm. Second one, when I was a child, I could watch TV whenever I wanted to. It's a fine idea. Let us hope that it is going to work. Mrs. Solomon, who was sitting behind the desk, gave me a big smile. We were, believe it or not, in love with each other. I don't like this one bit, said Julia. Have you met our handsome new financial director? If you are ever in London, come and see you. Michael in the Ferrari was cornering superbly. Looking straight at her, he said, I can't help you. So you have to punctuate the following sentences. Moving to the homework. Homework exercise on page number 94 from your PC Read Grammar. There are set of 16 sentences which you have to punctuate. You have to do the homework and send the homework to my Gmail ID. Clear? Thank you. And I hope everybody has understood the topic punctuation, and you will do the homework and send me as soon as possible. Thank you. Thanks a lot for being such a good listener. Thank you. Please revise and do the work.